Hey, moms and dads. So, tonight I am going to share 6 writing strategies in 6 minutes. Okay. So, the first writing strategy, the wet, dry, try. I love this strategy. It requires the use of a chalkboard. Friction is caused when you use chalk against a chalkboard, and that provides feedback. You don't get that feedback when you use a dry erase board because it's a smooth surface. So with this, the adult takes a colored piece of chalk and draws the letter, and then the child takes a different color and traces. Then the child takes a wet sponge and erase. And then the child takes a crumbled piece of paper towel and dry. Okay. And then the child will try to write the letter independently. That is the wet, dry, try. The second strategy is please do not let your child's feet dangle when they're sitting. We want their larger muscles, their core, to be supported. So get a footstool, get a small container, and make sure your child's feet are resting on that footstool or small container, because the larger muscles, their core needs to be supported in order for them to focus on the smaller intrinsic muscles of the hands. Okay, that's very important. All right. Oh, and so we need the hips, the knees, and the ankles to be at approximately 90-degree angles. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, strategy number 3. This may be funny to you, okay, but this crayon right here, OTs like me, we like broken crayons. Whenever I see crayons, I break them because it's very difficult for a child to grasp a writing utensil that's this short. It really facilitates that tripod grasp, and that's what we're going for, and this opened web space. So do not throw your broken crayons away. And then for the older kids, if they have really formed that habit, it's hard to break an immature grasp that they have. You then have to look for some grips. There are so many pencil grips on the market. This is just a Stetro pencil grip, and it usually does the job. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Strategy number 4. Use a slant board or a large 3-ringed binder. Okay, so what we're looking for with this is a little bit of wrist extension, because that's a part of having a mature grasp. When you think about a toddler or a child that has a really immature grasp, they will like hold a large marker and their index finger will be pointed towards the paper and they write like this. But as they get older, you will see more wrist extension. So if you have a slant board or a large 3-ring binder, it's going to facilitate a little bit of wrist extension. All right, strategy number 5. Proprioception input to the hands before writing. So what I mean by proprioception input is that deep pressure to the joints and muscles, because it will increase their body awareness. And when we're talking about writing, more specifically, we're talking about increasing their hand, their finger awareness. So if you have Play-Doh, have them knead that Play-Doh and use those plastic molds so they can press into those molds to create cutouts. This is why you see some kids, they may write too lightly or too heavily because they don't have a good sense of body awareness. This is one strategy I like to use. Get some lock nuts and place them on the pencil to weigh the the writing utensil down. And so therefore, a child that writes too lightly, they'll have a better sense of body awareness when they're writing. All right. And if your child is the type that fatigues quickly, they should be introduced to keyboarding. Okay. And last but not least, strategy number 6. If your child has dyslexia, introduce them to cursive writing. Now, cursive writing, it's good to introduce that around the 3rd grade, but I have introduced it earlier. I believe I taught it as early as 1st grade. To a little girl that had dyslexia. That fluid movement is very difficult to reverse letters when you're doing that fluid motion. Unlike manuscript writing where you start and stop, start and stop. And those are my 6 writing strategies in 6